with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown, Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown!
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday evening. Welcome into the latest edition of Sports Blitz Live. I am Andy Graham alongside Luke Robinson. We'll be with you for the next couple of hours, taking your comments, taking your phone calls, talking about everything going on in the world of sports. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us tonight. Another great weekend of college football out there. We'll talk about, obviously, what happened with Alabama as they defeated the Ole Miss Rebels on Saturday in Tuscaloosa. Auburn traveled to College Station, unable to get it done against the Aggies in a very ugly game offensively for Auburn as they fall 27-10. We'll look at what happened in the SEC and around the league a little bit. Jim Harbaugh is back. Dion in Colorado got a dose of humility. And
you think it'll take?
No. But the beating, the beating they're going to take this Saturday might start to set it in.
I think that dose of humility is a lot like the way I see people still wearing masks for COVID, like around their chin.
Yeah.
You know, you're not doing anything when your mask is down here.
No, that's
You're
right.
not really doing much when it's up here. But what I'm saying is that, have you seen Oregon's video about it?
No.
Oregon put out a video afterwards. Which
Something about the Colorado players were talking trash or something.
Well, Shiloh Sanders actually said something like, I will beat all you players up and beat your coaches up. I'm paraphrasing because I can't say everything he said. And, you know, they showed video of some of the Colorado players, like, wiping their feet on the Oregon logo. And, you know, and then they just got the and by the way, Shiloh Sanders, I think, ended up having to go to the hospital after the game. Not that that's funny, but it's funny in that he was talking so much trash to begin with.
Yeah.
It's funny how quickly Colorado goes from media darling to now that when those things come out and then you're kind of exposed, people turn on you very fast. I mean, the truth is somewhere in the middle, but I think most everybody was kind of glad Colorado came down to earth a little bit, although I got to say I have enjoyed the Colorado story. When Oregon put that video out and showed some comments from Colorado players, I was like, okay, I'm cool with Dion being all swagger and everything. I'm not cool with saying things like that. Like, they were actually talking to the Oregon players. Like, they were stretching and talking to the coaches. And Tosh Lupoy, who used to coach at Bama, is there at Oregon now, and he said, don't pay him any attention. He said, just do your talking with your pads. And it worked out.
Yeah, it did. Oregon looks like a really good team. They look like a top 10 team. Now, again, blowing out Colorado, it's not really saying a whole lot. Despite
nobody else has done it.
Well, who have they played?
Colorado, look, we can say a lot of things about Colorado. You can dislike Deion Sanders if you want to. I would say Colorado has played about as tough of a schedule as anybody else in the country. TCU, and then Nebraska.
Colorado State and Nebraska constitute about the same as Auburn's schedule of going.
No, I disagree with that. Come on, Auburn.
No. Okay, they're better.
And Auburn also played. Who was the first?
They're better than UMass. Okay,
and UMass and Sanford.
I don't know.
Colorado State would beat either one of those teams.
Nebraska and Sanford would probably be a good game.
No. And it is a Big Ten team. So, again, give them credit for going to the Power 5 and playing two Power 5 teams. And TCU did play for a national championship, and they beat them at their place. Again, maybe TCU's not that good. I'm just saying, on paper, they played as tough a schedule as anybody else in the country.
Sure.
And then they had to go to Oregon. Gosh, wouldn't it be something if Auburn could get a quarterback like what Oregon's got?
That'd be nice. If only. And you know, I don't know this for a fact, but I hear rumor that somebody in his family was actually Auburn fans.
I'll be darned.
So, yeah.
Y'all have got a long reach, Andy. Auburn's got a long reach.
Yeah.
Get all the way out there to Oregon.
I hope Bo Nix wins the Heisman. I hope Oregon wins the national title. I really do.
It would be a story.
It would be good, and it'd be great for him for sure. I mean, they're talking about Bo Nix, top 3 quarterbacks in the draft. I mean, it's So he is becoming exactly what everybody at Auburn said this guy's going to be when he was coming out of high school.
But now, okay,
coming out of high school.
You know, the lesson learned from this is you and I.
There are many lessons learned.
There are several lessons. Lesson number one, don't hire Brian Harsin.
That's a good one.
Okay, but the second lesson is, we always sit up here, and I'm the Bama fan, you're the Auburn, and Brett and Randy are Auburn fans, and we got some other Alabama fans, David's an Auburn fan, all that stuff, right? And we would go, if like Alabama gave me a scholarship or Auburn gave one of y'all a scholarship, we'd just pounce on it and just eat it up, right? Without thinking about, okay, is this really best for me and my future? I think now we have to start looking at this more objectively. Like, it's not about who you're a fan of. It's who's best for your future. Clearly, even if Gus Malzahn had been there, who recruited Bo, even if he had stayed, it just wasn't a good fit for him to be at Auburn. He could still love Auburn, but the style was not good.
Yeah, it was it was unfortunate that a guy that is, Bo Nix, if he goes on and wins a national title for Oregon, there'll obviously be a great connection there, but deep down inside, he's never not going to be an Auburn guy. I think I can honestly say that.
Well, y'all believe that because
no,
Auburn people believe that because they believe nobody will ever leave the inner circle, and I get it.
No, I believe that because for 20 years of his life,
that's
he
true.
Bled Auburn.
But have you heard him talk about Oregon lately?
I'm sure, and I'm not saying there's not room in his heart for Oregon. I'm just saying it's not going to replace Auburn.
No, I don't think it'll replace, and I don't think you'll ever forget your first love and all that. But I think that you phrased that poorly. I think there's room in his heart for Auburn now. I think he's an Oregon dude. I was shocked to hear some of his comments, the way he was talking about Oregon. He was like, "This place changed my life." That's a quote from him. And, good for him. Sometimes you got it. Like I said, it's not a lesson that's meant to poke fun at Auburn. It's meant to poke fun at us fans that we think that if you grow up an Auburn or Alabama fan or whatever fan and you get offered by that team, it should mean more. Well, it does mean a little more, but it's all about, can you prepare me to get to the next level? Gus Malzahn was not preparing quarterbacks to get to the next level. And you can say, well, what about Cam Newton? Cam Newton is an anomaly.
Himself.
He's different.
Yeah.
He's a different animal. So take him out of the equation. Is Jarrett Stidham may still be in the league? Is he playing any? He can't. Zach Wilson is starting, and Jarrett Wilson isn't starting.
Jared Wilson?
Is it Jarrett Stidham? Did I say Jarrett Wilson twice?
No, I think you said Zach. His brother Jarrett.
Yeah, Jarrett Stidham isn't starting. My point is that he may still be in the league. I assume he is. I think he's a backup still, and that's probably one of the best jobs in America, being the backup quarterback.
I don't know if there's a better one.
But now Hugh Freeze is going to have a system that's going to. If Bo Nix had come around and Hugh Freeze is the coach, we're having a different conversation.
All right. Look, I had this conversation this weekend with several people. And I'm sure that every fan probably can say this outside of Alabama, but I look at it over the last 30 years, and it just Auburn, and you've got to have so many different things go right for everything to kind of come together and have this great. But it seems like. And you go back and say, well, it seemed like every time Auburn's got the right quarterback, they don't have the right coach. Every time they got the right coach, they got the wrong quarterback, or the wrong offensive line, or the wrong style. Yeah. It's just it all came together in 13. It all came together in 10. But outside of those 2 years, I go back to 2002. Auburn was on this great ascent. They had this great team assembled. And Bobby Petrino's there, and then he gets a Louisville job. If he'd have stayed a couple more years, if he'd have stayed 2002, 2003, 2004, I don't have any doubt we'd have won 10, 11 or 12 games all 3 of those years.
You assume he wouldn't have found a co-ed on a moped.
This is before those days.
He just discovered women on mopeds when he was at Arkansas.
As an assistant coach, you can do that kind of stuff. As a head coach, you can't at Arkansas. Or I'm saying just hire Al Borges in 2003.
Al Borges?
3 and 4. Man, you go on one of the best runs because you got one of the best talent pools at Auburn. Instead, they go 8 and 5. So that's all I'm saying. It seems like Auburn's got a bit of a curse there, but we're our own worst enemy. Trust me, I know. All right, NFL, a lot of, great. How about the Dolphins dropping 70 on the poor Broncos?
And frankly, I mean, you can say that's disrespectful. Frankly, they should have probably kicked the field goal to make it 73.
And going back to Oregon, I actually heard somebody say, Oregon ran it up on Colorado. Oregon could have scored 70 easy.
Yeah.
They let off the gas in the second half, so don't give me that.
And also,
by any means.
Don't give me they ran it up. What do you think Deion's going to do to people? Run it up? And that, again, he's created that, and so you learn to live with it when it happens the other direction.
Let me ask you this. Did you see the interview before the game with Deion?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, look, he said, and I'm just curious. I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying this is wrong. I'm just curious how you see it. He said, they said, what about the game? Of course, it was a stupid interview like you always see before the game. What else is the coach going to say? But he said, I believe we're going to play our best game today. I believe the world's going to see us, at our best because we believe we're going to play great offense, great defense, great special teams. That's what you probably ought to tell your team, right? We believe that we're going to – now, you're 3 touchdown underdog for a reason. So, I mean, there's one thing only when you say that going into a game and then you get beat 42-6, you kind of look foolish. So I'm saying, so what's the proper thing to say?
No.
Is it okay?
Look, what Deion said, the words, the transcript is the same every other coach says.
Yeah.
It's the passion, the inflection, the tone with which Deion says it, and the flair that makes it different. It's not even a racial thing. It is Deion takes everything up a notch, and when he does that and it works, it's awesome. When it doesn't work,
belief only takes you so far.
Well, exactly. And when it doesn't work, it goes down in flames. And people love to point the finger at him because he's not saying a lot of the times he's not saying anything different than other coaches. In fact, I thought what Ryan Day said about the whole Lou Holtz thing, that was sort of Deion-esque. And he was sort of mad. But you know what? All I've heard today from national recruiting guys is that the recruits love that. They love the fire, the passion, the whatever. And I think that's why Deion is such a hit. Now, I say Deion is such a hit. His recruiting is like they're number 70 in the country. Now, it'll get better.
Sure, they only got 8 commitments.
But they're also going to do a lot of transfer portal work again. And that's not a bad strategy. The problem is when Deion leaves, you're going to be in some trouble. Because you're not going to have a lot of talent base to choose from if you've been picking the portal every year. But anyway, I think that, people who do want to pick on Deion for this or that, if you just look at the transcript and what he's actually saying, it's no different than the regular coach speak we get. He just does it with so much more flair and passion, and it really is like a church sermon.
I don't know as I've heard anybody around here or in the SEC say, I think the world's going to see what we got today.
Okay.
Now,
verbatim.
I'm just saying that.
Verbatim, you're right. But I think when he says things like, I believe in my team. My team's ready. Other coaches go, I have a deep belief in our team, and I believe our team is ready to play today.
Yeah.
But they say it so milquetoast that you don't even listen.
Cue the Dave Chappelle white guy voice.
But
we got to take a break here, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Sportz Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, they do service work and got a great crew there. Keep us in mind. Why don't you go by Sportz Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
The coast is here. Wharf Casual Seafood is serving up all your favorites: shrimp and grits, po' boys, tacos, seafood platters, and so much more. Don't miss out on our famous loaded fried green tomatoes. Wharf Casual Seafood is located on Highway 280 next to Regions Bank.
Hello, I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Just getting started on tonight's program. We are brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Wonderful place to have lunch or dinner right here in downtown Alexander City. Go and check them out. Great atmosphere, great food, and great people there at JR's Sports Bar and Grill.
Two things I want to let everybody know. Number one, little known fact, that is Andy on the guitar solo in between the bumper music.
True.
And number two, I'm never wearing a white shirt again because it looks like I'm blending in with the background and I'm just a floating head with some arms.
That does look a bit off-putting now that you say that.
I mean, I can't. Every time that's why I'm not looking at the screen. Every time I look over there, I'm like, it's just my big head floating.
JR's going to have apparently their 25th anniversary.
Yeah, there's a thing for it, and I can't go, and I'm mad.
Well, why don't somebody needs to punch you in the face? Why? What?
I just can't. I can't even remember what. I know I couldn't go. I got the invite. I can't go, and I'm sad about it because nobody likes JR's more than I do.
Sure. Well, we'll miss you.
Are you going?
That would be positive, yes.
When is it?
And no clue. No, it's in October.
I know. I
can't
think
remember
it's
the exact date.
I think that it's something like.
It's on a Sunday. So, I mean, it's Sunday.
Yeah, if it's on a Sunday, that's a problem.
Okay.
I'll be in Birmingham.
All right. Well, I will, we'll raise a glass.
Scarf down a finger for me.
I'll drop a finger on the floor for you. All right. Alabama takes care of Ole Miss this weekend. Look, Alabama, it's not like they, I wouldn't say that they turned the season around, but they played certainly better. Jalen Milroe still turned the ball over. That's, what you've come to expect. But the defense holding Ole Miss to 10 points, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss had already scored 70 on the year. They were averaging, well over 40 points a game, I believe, and Alabama holds them to 10. The defense really has come around. In fact, I think what Alabama fans really loved is towards the end of the game when Ole Miss was making somewhat of a drive that would have gotten it within a score if they'd been able to get a touchdown. Alabama wasn't playing this prevent, going to sit back on our heels and, just try and keep everything in front of us. No, they sent, I think, a safety blitz and ended up getting a sack. And Dallas Turner now leads the conference in sacks with 4.5. Chris Braswell is tied for third with 3.5. And it seemed like just the other day we were wondering, where are these guys? And now things are really starting to come together. If Terrion Arnold hadn't intercepted that ball from Jackson Dart, I think Caleb Downs would have. So, this team is starting to come together somewhat. Yeah, Jalen Milroe is still going to turn the ball over. That we just all got to accept that, because after the South Florida game, we've seen what Tyler Buckner is, and he's not ready for this job. And then you see what Ty Simpson is, and if Ty Simpson had started against Ole Miss, fine. I think if the defense played that way, Alabama would at least have a puncher's chance to still win that game. But we got to give Milroe a little bit of credit. There are a lot of people who gave up on him totally, and he found a new target in freshman Jalen Hale. 2 catches, 64 yards, I believe. One of them a 33-yard touchdown. That was an absolute beautiful dime, and Hale goes up and gets it, gets hit twice, still controls the ball and gets the touchdown. Jalen Milroe got hit, and that was what was great. I've been saying that there were times I thought one of these guys could have had their Jake Coker moment. I thought Ty Simpson had an opportunity in the South Florida game where if he dives for the first down, and even if he gets hit, people respect that. Jake Coker was the kind of guy who's like, I'll just hit you first. He was just a tough quarterback. I mean, he wasn't the most accurate or anything like that, but he was just tough. And that one of the things that won the team over is when he ducked his shoulder against Texas A&M in 2015. But Ty Simpson didn't do that. Again, I'm not faulting him. That's what a lot of quarterbacks are taught. Like, get down, don't get hurt. You're the quarterback. We need you. But there's something about a quarterback who will go that extra inch for his team that really can send them over the top, especially if they're not like Tua Tagovailoa accurate. So, but Jalen Milroe, I felt, may have had this moment. He gets absolutely creamed on that touchdown pass I'm talking about. I mean, just a great shot. It wasn't illegal. It was just a good hit and knocked the breath out of him. And it's hard to knock the breath out of a dude as big as Milroe. Milroe's laying on the turf, and it was kind of funny being in the stadium. Touchdown, everybody's going crazy, and then, everybody's attention turns back to Milroe to see what his reaction was. Well, he's on the ground, motionless. And all of a sudden, there's a gasp. 30 minutes ago, most of the stadium would have been like, put someone else in at quarterback. Now everybody's like, what are we going to do without him? And so he gets up after having his breath restored. You can see the trainer, Jeff Allen, say to him, hey, yeah, it was a touchdown. And he gets up and he has this moment of jubilation, almost like childlike exuberance, that the crowd really got into it. And I think he may have had his moment. It doesn't mean he's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to turn the ball over once a game, whether he has to or not, and maybe more. That's just going to happen. But he's our best chance to win, and everybody needs to learn to love that. If you don't love it now, you better learn to, because it's the best we got. And on top of that, when he's on his game, he's really good. He's just not on his game as often as a Bryce Young, Mac Jones, Tua, Jalen Hurts. He's just not on his game that much. Okay, we'll just have to deal with that.
Yeah. Alabama got Mississippi State coming up this week on the road in Starkville. Early matchup thoughts there?
Well, normally it is later. You're right.
Yeah.
And it's usually a lot cooler.
Did I say later?
No. You said early matchup. I was like.
I said early thoughts on the matchup.
Oh, I thought you said early matchup. Well, it is normally later in the year.
I hear it's later in the year usually.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I don't know where you got that subliminal seed, but I think this is a good opportunity for Alabama. Look, Mississippi State's probably in this bunch of teams that the SEC is. I mean, it's not a great year for college football in terms of quality teams. I mean, it's so funny. We always complain, there are only so many teams that are really, really good. And now we're all like, there are not that many good teams this year. But they're not.
It's hard to say. I mean, it's hard to gauge Mississippi State right now because they look just horrendous versus LSU. And Will Rogers throws for 100 yards. And then they come back this past week and say, you know what, let's just go back to the air raid. And he throws for nearly 500 yards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't – I mean, obviously South Carolina's not great, but
I like it.
I wouldn't know what to expect.
I don't know what to expect. I do like it from Alabama perspective in that Alabama's defense is very aggressive right now. I think they could get multiple turnovers, get multiple sacks, and I think that's what Alabama fans want to see. You know, they did. Jace McClellan gets over 100 yards this past weekend, so now back-to-back weekends, 2 different running backs over 100 yards. Jalen Milroe is a threat to get 100 yards at some point if he can avoid the sacks. You know, he still was sacked several times this past weekend. But, yeah, Mississippi State's one of those weird teams. I mean, they arguably still might have the best quarterback in the league. If it's not Jaden Daniels, they might have the second best quarterback in the league. But I think everything surrounding him is not as great, and that's going to be a problem. So, yeah, I still like Alabama's chances. It's at 8 o'clock at night, which is just terrible. I mean, just terrible.
Could be 9:30.
Well, but see, I can defend that because it's on the West Coast. So that makes sense that 7:30 sounds so much better than 8 o'clock in my mind. I mean, I'm not getting to bed till midnight.
I'm aware.
That's crazy talk for me.
Yeah, learn to love it, yeah. We got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Looking for an attorney you can trust for your real estate closings? Wisdom Law Firm at Lake Martin has you covered. Your real estate transactions are fast, convenient, and professional every step of the way. Wisdom Law is certified and licensed by the American Land and Title Association and approved by all local lenders. Visit Wisdom Law Firm at 6366 Highway 49 in Dadeville or at their Auburn location at 2353 Bent Creek Road. No communication concerning a lawyer's legal services shall be published or broadcast unless it contains the following language, which shall be clearly legible or audible as the case may be. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. About 30 more minutes left in the first hour of tonight's program. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Talk about the Auburn Tigers a little bit here in this segment. Guys, still talk about the SEC and what went on around the country. And if you'll stay tuned for the second hour, a very special Alive or dead.
Oh, yeah.
80s wrestlers.
Oh, jeepers.
80s wrestlers, alive or dead.
You want to see somebody get a lot of answers wrong? 8 o'clock and me.
Yeah.
It's a good combo.
Auburn goes to Texas A&M. Again, I said this on the Auburn Blitz on Monday, and I've got no issue with Ron Roberts. Coming into the year, I thought there was legitimate reason to believe the Auburn defense was going to be suspect, and there was legitimate reason to believe the Auburn offense would be had a chance to be productive. I got the defense has far exceeded my expectation, but the offense in the 2 road games has been just bad. There's no other way to say it. And certainly 2 yards in the third quarter that's historically bad.
I'm completely distracted by this roach on the floor. I got to tell you, I'm just.
Well, I mean, he's not. It's not like he's one of these that's going to rearrange the furniture. At least.
No, he's not. He's not one of those big Alabama roaches, but as a roach nonetheless. And he's walking in the opposite. Now he's coming back towards you.
Oh well,
that's fine.
Thank you.
Anywho, yeah, you're right. It was not pretty. There were a lot of things wrong. And Peyton Thorne just, on the road. Look, that was an 11 a.m. SEC crowd that got to him.
I'm not sure it was the crowd. I don't know what his deal is. Because are we saying the Cal crowd got to him? So, because he looked pretty much the same. I told Brett, maybe it's just, and maybe we'll look back on this 10 games into it, perhaps it's just we're the worst road team ever. I hope that's what it is.
Well, you did beat Cal.
Barely. Well, but Cal helped beat Cal,
and
too.
Cal is awful. But and let's also say that Texas A&M, their roster is clearly better than Auburn. So really, and the line did go up to 9.5. I think some people understood. Look, in the end, we can talk about all this. Auburn's got the history and mystique, and they've got a 4-1 record going into this at Kyle Field and all that stuff. In the end, Texas A&M is a better team than Auburn. Now, you would wonder, okay, chemistry-wise, maybe Texas A&M would fall apart because they have so much going on. And maybe they end up.
It was 6-3 at the half.
Because I would also say neither team is great.
Again, yeah, I agree.
I think Auburn, Texas A&M, South Carolina, Mississippi State sort of all fall in that. I think any of them can beat the other one, and I think any of them can lose the other one.
That's I don't think Texas A&M is any better or any worse than Arkansas, or Ole Miss, or Mississippi State, or well, they're better than Vandy.
Well, I think Ole Miss and Texas A&M they play relatively soon, I think, and I think Ole Miss is a better team than A&M. If only because they are more settled at quarterback now. Although it's odd. Wigman, who had been playing great, had a horrible game against Auburn seemingly. They bring in Max Johnson, and
he looks good for 2 drives anyway.
Yeah. But, in the end, it's been kind of funny to see Hugh Freeze. He's being honest. Now, it's a little weird, and his whole thing about the Georgia-Auburn series, I don't hate anybody. I love everybody. That was a little goofy.
Well, look,
and you don't need to say
there was not – the Auburn-Georgia rivalry did not have a lot of hate to it for years.
Up until the hoses on him in '86.
Well, I know, but that was kind of an outlier. But, we tore up the hedges, I think. They claimed that in '85 or whatever it was. But it was – long about the mid-2000s when it started getting nasty, and it's been kind of bitter. But to me, that's recently. The '80s, I don't think it was bitter. It was just you had 2 really, really good teams in the early '80s and mid '80s, and I don't know. I think he's partially right there, but
again.
And
like
it ain't much of a rivalry anymore.
Like I said,
it ain't been in the last.
Well, like I said, he's
years.
being honest, and I think he's being honest about some of the problems against Texas A&M. But at the same time, he's sort of like, reading between the lines, he's like, guys, I'd love to have somebody besides Peyton Thorne. He's the best we got. I mean, I'm reading between the lines here. People can keep saying Holden Gerner. He went like 2 for 8 for 10 yards. I mean, now, I'm going to tell you, I've also been there. I remember the Chris Capps days at Alabama. I forgive Chris Capps, but I remember thinking I would rather.
I'm sure he appreciates it.
I understand. I remember thinking I would rather place anybody else because he was getting beaten so badly, I think at the time by Quentin Groves, that I was like, I would almost rather not put somebody there and confuse Quentin Groves for a split second as to like, why isn't anybody here? I thought that would have give him more time. I understood that. I understand an Auburn fan going, I don't care who it is as long as his name is not Peyton Thorne. I totally get that. But I think what Hugh Freeze is saying is, y'all don't know what I know. It could be worse. And I almost feel like that's the lesson Saban tried to teach Alabama fans going, okay, you don't want Milroe. No sweat. Here you go. And then the next thing we know, we're all begging for Jalen Milroe back. So maybe he could do that. Now, the one thing I would say is Auburn's backup in Robbie Ashford. He has played some. He actually threw at least one really nice ball against Alabama last year.
He threw some nice passes. Like he was good for 1 or 2 brilliant throws a game, and then, the problem was the rest of them. But the problem is not that, Peyton Thorne was under great duress Saturday. That's true, and that's reminiscent of what's been going at Auburn for the last 5 years or more. But he had some opportunities, and he had some time, and he had some guys running wide open at least 2 or 3 times, and airmailed him by 5 yards. So if Peyton Thorne can't make the routine throw, I'm not asking him to be Superman. I'm not asking him to be Cam Newton. I'll just make the routine.
You're asking him to be Jimmy Olsen.
Just be the routine throw. If you can't do that, look, Robbie Ashford can overthrow somebody. Robbie Ashford can do, hardly anything in the passing. And we get much better legs. So that's Hugh Freeze's dilemma, and Philip Montgomery during this week here is to say, okay, look, Peyton Thorne, he plays a lot better at home, so I'm sure he'll start Saturday, and we'll see if he can make the routine throws. Brother, it's not getting any easier against Georgia for sure.
Well, and then
their defense.
Then you got and I know some people say, hey, I'd throw Gerner or Robbie Ashford to the Wolves this weekend, and let's also call a spade a spade. This Georgia team doesn't look as good as the previous 2 Georgia teams.
No.
So, I mean, when I say throw them to the Wolves, at least it's less of a wolf pack than it used to be. But I see people saying that. I understand that. But my take on it would be, look, the odds of Auburn's winning this game are extremely low. I would probably give Peyton Thorne one more opportunity. And if it maybe only, even if it's only a half or a quarter or whatever, and if he goes out there and it just isn't working, then you try somebody else. But I think it's crucial to remember Auburn's got a bye week coming up after Georgia before they go to LSU. So what I would hate to do is throw Gerner or Ashford out there, let him get completely beat up as the starter, and then his confidence is deflated. And then you go into the off week trying to figure out, okay, how can I boost this guy up enough to where he's not depressed going to LSU? Whereas, and I'm not trying to get all Sigmund Freudy here, but whereas if you start Peyton Thorne, and let's just say Peyton Thorne stinks, and you're like, okay, Ashford, Gerner, somebody get in there, anybody. And they get in there, all of a sudden, instead of the pressure of starting and getting humiliated, no matter what happens afterwards, you're like, hey, he didn't start. He hadn't been taking starters reps. He hadn't been, he wasn't ready.
Sure.
So then you have something to look for him to build on going into the off week. That's, again, I may be reading too much into this, but I would be afraid to throw Gerner or Ashford against Georgia, especially if I'm Hugh Freeze. I'm going, look, I can ruin, because you're also going to sit Peyton Thorne, and Peyton Thorne's done, right? You're going to ruin 2 quarterbacks if you start somebody else, is my take, potentially.
I think I agree with that 100%. I think you throw Peyton Thorne out there, you give him the first half, because I think the Auburn defense will keep them close. I think it will be a close game going into half, and if Peyton Thorne can do anything offensively, then you say bully, let's go, let's try to expand it and see if he can gain a little confidence. But if he's, like you said, if he stinks, if he goes and turns the ball over twice in the first half, then you go with Robbie and we start running some read option and drop him back and let him try to throw it deep and over the top and do the best we can. Then you go an open competition for 2 weeks and try to figure something out.
What's the minimum that the score would need to be for Peyton Thorne to stay in the game for you? I mean, because look, if Peyton Thorne's throwing dimes everywhere, but it's still 27-0, then you're sort of like, okay. But I'm saying, what's the minimum score?
If it's 27-0, then it ain't the offense is the problem. I mean, so I think if it's within 10 points,
okay, I think that's very fair.
No turnovers, then I think we keep seeing him out there in the third quarter, and we try to see if we can pull up, do something. Find some way to score some points. That's going to be number one objective. Got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. More to come on this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hey, honey, it's Mom. Just wanted to call and check in, see how everything's going. You'll probably say not to worry. Everything is great. But we miss you. I'll call you back later. How are you? Tell me everything.
Everything's great. I love it here.
This is Joseph Dean with Alabama Funeral Homes. As many of you are aware, we had a fire that significantly damaged our facilities. We are in the process of getting those rebuilt. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused the families that we serve. I want you to know that we are capable of handling all of your needs at Frederick Dean Funeral Home of Opelika, which will be servicing Alabama Funeral Homes families. We can be reached at our same number, 256-896-4502, or by email at joseph@alabamafuneralhomes.com.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial building. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Looking around the SEC, Luke, it was an interesting week. Not, there are a lot of out-of-conference matchups, but those in conference, Arkansas travels to LSU. You could tell Arkansas was kind of a desperate team, even this early in the year. But they go out there, they really play well and have a great opportunity, really, to win that game, but come up a field goal short as LSU wins it kind of basically as time expired.
They just couldn't get a stop.
No, they really couldn't. And their defense, it's actually better than it was last year, but it's still no good.
That's right. Look, I want to get back to it. As I was looking at X or Twitter or whatever doing the thing, did you know this stat? Listen to this. Auburn has thrown for fewer than 100 yards in 5 straight Power 5 games dating to last season.
Yes, I did know that.
Holy cow.
That's it doesn't seem like that is real, but that is real.
It almost seems like it can't be real.
You would think.
In today's college football world.
Yeah. Makes you you start thinking, my goodness, we've won a lot of games being as awful as we are.
Because I was just telling you, like, I remember Robbie Ashford throwing a nice touchdown pass against Alabama. It had to be at least 15, 20 yards. It had to be 20 yards at least, right?
Yeah.
I remember it sort of. They only had 77 yards passing against Alabama. So it was that play and then a bunch of other small plays.
Yeah.
I mean, this is nuts to me, Andy. I did not know this.
It's staggering. It really is. I don't even know what to say. I mean, that's how bad things. And as for any Auburn fan that looks at it and it is like, well, did we make a mistake hiring Hugh Freeze? Stop right there. This is right now. Auburn has piecemealed a team together to try to be competitive, not be great in 2023, not even be good, just be competitive. Because if we had not gone out and brought 40 new guys in, Auburn would probably they'd be at best 2-2 right now and would have gotten blown out a couple of times. So, look, this is just kind of what we're dealing with here, trying to make it through the year, win as many games as we can, bring in a dynamic recruiting class, and start trying to rebuild this program the right way. Because it has been the last couple of years of Gus Malzahn and 2 years of Brian Harsin is like a grenade has gone off.
To put this in perspective, Auburn has thrown for less yardage in 5 Power 5 games in a row than Mississippi State threw in a loss last weekend.
Yeah.
That is bananas talk.
And it's how many different quarterbacks? I guess, or is it just Robbie and
Peyton?
And Peyton.
Did nobody else play for Auburn last year?
I'm trying to remember if he started that. He started all those games that we're going back to. But
well, it had to be. It wasn't Robbie that started the year last year.
No, it was not. It was.
Zach Calzada?
No, Calzada never played a down. It was
T.J. Finley.
Yeah. T.J. Finley only lasted 2 games, though. But I think he did come back in maybe because Robbie was banged up or something, but I don't remember. They all kind of blend together, the Sean Whites and the Jeremy Johnsons, and it all just.
But it is funny because you don't. I remember being in the moment. I was depressed, like during the Dubos, Shula days, all that. In the moment, you're like, it's awful, but if just this happens, if just that happens. And now I look back and go, holy cow, we were terrible. Yeah. I think in 10 years, Auburn fans are going to look back and go, oh, my God, how bad was this era?
Yeah. Oh, well, and yet they'll look back and the only things they remember is 13 and 17. And it just kind of brainwashes you to think, oh, well, I mean, we weren't that bad. And then you start looking back and you're going, oh, yeah, dude. You remember that time that Jeremy Johnson was at LSU and he threw the ball backwards? Yeah, that happened. Now, you remember that time, that we you remember that time we basically won the West and we went out and played in the Sugar Bowl and got obliterated by Oklahoma? Yeah, that was not fun. Oh, yeah.
It's in the moment. Yes, it's bad. Again, I know it's bad, but like, even me as an Alabama fan, I'm conditioned to always think, Auburn to do something, they'll beat Georgia this weekend. Auburn's not beating Georgia this weekend. There's nobody nationally who thinks that.
It's highly unlikely.
There's nobody nationally who thinks that. Yet here I am, the Alabama fan, going, just leave it to those SOBs to beat Georgia this weekend. Because I'm so conditioned to think y'all always do something like that.
Well, to be perfectly honest, by the way we played against A&M, it'd be just like Auburn to beat Georgia. But I don't think it's going to happen. It's just that kind of it's just not that good a team. Got to take another break. We'll be back with one final segment in the first hour of tonight's program.
It's a good SEC breakdown by us.
Right, yeah, right after this.
Truckloads of fresh inventory are rolling in to Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Check out the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cabs discounted up to $9,500 off. The exciting 24 Chevrolet Equinox as low as $369 per month. The popular Chevy Traverse discounted up to $6,000 off.
Get your best price every day at Glenn Smith and Opelika on the lot or online at glennsmith.com. Get ready to smile.
The Alabama Slammer. It's a popular drink at parties, but drink too many and you'll wind up in this Alabama Slammer. And if you drink and drive, get ready for a real Alabama Slammer. If you're involved in a crash where a driver's been drinking, you're 4 times more likely to die.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full-service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
Hi, this is Jimmy Gorey at Gorey's Furniture. Come join us for the madness of March. Come join us here at Gorey's Furniture. Make a purchase, shoot from the line, 5, 10 to 15. That's % discount off your total ticket. So come join us. Let's have fun. Everyone's a winner. Everyone will save. Come join us for the madness of March, and that's only at Gorey's Furniture.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Looking around the SEC, Mississippi State, another desperate team, goes on the road. And, again, Will Rogers out of nowhere, like 487 yards passing. However, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. If you throw for 487 yards, you figure you might.
I mean, you'd think so, right? But again, I think it's so funny. At the beginning of the year, I thought Mississippi State might have a chance to be better than we think. No, they don't.
Probably not.
I mean, again, I'm trying not to talk trash because I don't want them to beat Alabama this weekend. But I think that when you hire a coach nobody knows, you don't really know what style you want. You flip flop. Now the second style seemed to be best, but.
How often does it actually work out when you promote from within to head coach? I mean, Larry Coker comes to mind.
Well,
they won a national title, but
because you could have put a cardboard cutout of Larry Coker up there.
It went downhill pretty quick.
Yeah. Boy, I'm trying to think. The promoting from within thing.
I mean,
nothing's coming to mind.
Ron Zook at Florida. That didn't work out too well.
Was Ryan Day he was on the staff?
He may have been the OC.
And they've been good. They've been pretty great. I mean,
Dabo, that one worked out well.
Yeah, I think so. Although that was sort of also an interim, and it didn't work out very well at first. They had to hang in there.
It did. It took a while. Are they going to be patient?
Yeah.
Mississippi State, I don't know why they wouldn't be patient, but
Mississippi State.
Of course, I say that, and they fired what's that guy from Penn State, and he only was there for 2 years.
He was there about 10 minutes. God, it's hard to believe. It feels like
I didn't remember his name.
Oh, I have no idea what his name is. And then they had Leach after him, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that because it feels like he was just there.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so they got Alabama this weekend. Alabama's 14.5-point favorite. Then Western Michigan at home. And then they're 2 Arkansas, 2 Auburn, and Kentucky at home. Kentucky's undefeated. They probably won't be when they get there because they got to travel to Georgia in a couple of weeks. But they play Florida this weekend, and you feel like they got a good shot. What I'm saying is things are about to get rocky for Mississippi State.
I don't know if they're about to, but they already pretty rocky. Kentucky at Vandy. Kentucky 45-28. Good for Vandy, giving up, scoring 28 points, I guess. But
here's the thing: part of the 45, 2 interception returns for touchdowns, and
Leary. I thought he was going to be better than this.
No, I'm saying Kentucky returned 2 interceptions for touchdowns. So what I'm saying is,
but Leary did throw 2 picks.
Yeah. What I'm saying is though that Vanderbilt, because you go from offense right back to offense, so you actually have more of a shot, to get back in there and score some more points. I think Vanderbilt made up some ground at the end. I think Kentucky was pretty much in control of this game. But if Kentucky gets by Florida this weekend, which is an 11 o'clock game, I hate that for them too. That game should be like at least a 6 o'clock game or something. But it's not because ESPN chose Ole Miss, LSU, which I understand too.
These are kind of like these are like Auburn numbers here. Swan 16 of 40, 189 yards and 3 picks, and no touchdowns. You throw the ball 40 times and you throw for 189.
Andy, nobody at Auburn's thrown for 86 yards yet.
Oh my goodness!
No, but you're right. And Vanderbilt, well, look, if we're talking about ineptness in the passing game, Vanderbilt hosts Auburn later on this year.
Yes, they do. That could be fun.
If there's an over-under available, I would take it.
How about UAB putting 21 up on Georgia?
Well, and it was 28-14 at the half, too. Yeah. I feel like Georgia, here's the thing about playing such a lax schedule at the beginning. It's hard to get your team motivated. And that's why I think it may come back to haunt them. I mean, I don't know who could beat them because their schedule is so bad. When you look at it at the beginning of the season, you're like, okay, that Auburn trip's a little tricky. But right now, I mean, with Auburn's uncertainty at quarterback, you feel like it's probably not that uncertain for Georgia to win. Then Florida, okay, they played really well against Tennessee, but wasn't that more a testament to how Tennessee isn't very good? I don't think Florida can hang with Georgia. They went to Utah and got boat raced. So what's left? I mean, Missouri or Kentucky? Now, I think they travel. Do they travel to Missouri? Oh, I think they get Missouri and Kentucky at home this year. Can you believe it?
Why not?
I mean, and they get Ole Miss at home.
Okay.
And they travel to Tennessee. I know they travel to Auburn. Have they already played Vanderbilt?
No, I don't think
they
so.
got Vanderbilt still. I mean, look, in the end, they played South Carolina at home. So I mean,
Texas A&M and Tennessee play here sometime soon, don't they?
Texas A&M and Tennessee play, I believe, the same week. I think Texas A&M plays Tennessee the week after Alabama, Texas A&M.
Okay. All right. Well, that should be interesting, too. Look, people talk about Carson Beck, and he hadn't looked great. 22 of 32, 338, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Okay. Georgia, 10 of 13 on third down, 582 total yards. Look, it wasn't the offense's problem. They put up 49 points, did their job. UTSA at Tennessee, 45-14, no problem there. Joe Milton, fine. Charlotte, 7, Florida, 22. There again, Graham Mertz, he was okay. Florida doesn't ever look great. But they hammered Tennessee. So
well, and they're recruiting very well. They're top 5 in recruiting right now. If I'm a Florida fan, I want to weather this storm. You might have to weather next year. I mean, we've talked about it on this show. Next year, Florida goes to Texas, I believe. They still have Georgia. They also have UCF, Miami, and Florida State on the schedule. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, that's a lot.
That's tough.
That's a lot. And I think they have Arkansas, okay, not going to be but it's not like they have Alabama and they do have LSU because they always play LSU.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, they're going to have it tough next year.
Memphis at Missouri. Missouri and Kentucky both
undefeated.
4-0. How about that?
I mean, there are 3 undefeated teams left in the SEC, all of them from the SEC East.
Who would have thought?
Not many people.
Not many people.
And again, I think it's just a testament to this particular year, and I think some people are on board with me. I heard a bunch of national people today. I had to do a lot of driving today, and they were saying that, look, I just don't see a team that I love. I mean, Florida State, Clemson, that came down to the wire, and it looked like Florida State should be dominating that team. That Clemson team isn't great, and if they make a 29-yard field goal, they win the game.
Yeah. Look, Florida State struggled with Boston College.
Yeah.
They won by 2 points. So, yeah, nobody looks dominant. Let's just say that for sure.
And Ohio State ended up had a nice win, a nice
Notre
gritty.
Dame should have won the game. I blame that completely on the coach of Notre Dame.
And neither team looked very good offensively.
No, I would agree. All right, we're going to go ahead and take another break. We'll be back with hour number 2 of Sports Blitz Live right after these messages.
Talladega Outdoors in Talladega is your authorized Kawasaki sale and service center. Your home for Bad Boy mowers and Kimco scooters, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides. Rather for hunting, land management, or recreation, they have the ride for you. But they are also everything outdoor with full lines of accessories and is now your Ariat workwear and boot store, along with kayaks and outdoor accessories. Talladega Outdoor, Highway 21 in Talladega. Everything outdoor and Alabama's #1 Kawasaki dealer.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. The new full-size GMC Sierra 4x4 crew cab discounted up to $12,000 off. The popular GMC Terrain up to $6,500 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments till 2024 at Glenn Smith GMC.
Over 250 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to hour number 2 of Sports Blitz Live. I am Andy Graham alongside Luke Robinson. We'll be with you up until 9 o'clock. So thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind, 256-234-6221. Or you can dial us up on the Sports Blitz Facebook page and comment away. Also find us on YouTube. And just in case you stream out there, you can find us on your Roku or Fire Stick, Apple TV. Just download the OTM app or WAXC TV app and click the live stream. You can catch us every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 live. Luke, talked a lot about Auburn, Alabama in the first hour. We were discussing the SEC. Let's move a little bit more broad here, the national look, the national picture. You mentioned it, Florida State and Clemson. This was, I think this was rather predictable. Not that it would have gone into overtime, but again,
well, it did go into overtime, didn't it?
I'm saying that you would predict it to go into overtime, but Clemson, again, a desperate team. You knew they were going to come out and play extremely hard, and they did, and should have won the game, but it just looks like Clemson has forgotten how to win.
Watching that game, watching their game against Duke, watching Alabama, Texas, things like that, it did make me think, boy, you can lose it very fast. And, there was a time when Texas wouldn't dream of coming in Tuscaloosa and winning.
Yeah.
And they looked like the better team just about the entire game, save for a little stretch in there in the second half. And I thought that Duke looked a lot better than Clemson the whole time. I thought while Clemson was putting up a fight, you felt like they were throwing punches and Florida State was just taking them and going, okay, we're biding our time. And, yeah, I know Clemson could have made the field goal, but there was something that could even tell you. I was listening to that game on the radio, and there was something that was telling me, like, he's about to miss this. Because I remember a quote from Dabo Sweeney earlier in the day talking about the kicker that is – like he's
already missed several.
He's sort of been pressed
ones.
into duty,
yeah.
Right? And they were like, he's either going to be spectacular or he's going to be awful. And, they kept showing his family in the crowd. Mm-hmm. They were going nuts for him. He'd already made a longer field goal than what he missed. He'd made all his extra points. And then he gets out there for this moment, and, it's sort of like, if you remember Andy Papanastos for Alabama before the 2nd and 26 Tua play, he shanked it. I mean, it just wasn't good. It just wasn't a good kick. And again, you hate to fault. You can't fault him too much because you're like, well, we knew you weren't great, and so we made it where we had to have this to win it. And then, hey, speaking of Peyton Thorne earlier, I wonder if Keon Coleman made Peyton Thorne look a little better than he was sometimes, because Keon Coleman's a dude.
He's good.
He is really good, and he made a great catch for the touchdown. And then here's another thing. Clemson is 4th and a long one. And Clemson passes at home. And maybe, again, if you got Tua or Bryce back there, I get it. But they got Cade Klubnik, who's pretty good. And they've got some nice receivers. They're fine, but they don't have Justin Ross. They don't have T. Martin. They don't have anybody like that. So I feel like I would have probably run the ball, especially at home. I'd be like, let's get behind this crowd and let's push forward. But they didn't do that. And I think it's moments like that when you have all this self-doubt. And look, things are going to get dicey for Clemson. I mean, they still have to play. I think they still have to play Miami. I think they still have to play Notre Dame. They obviously have to play South Carolina. Boy, it could be bad for Clemson.
Yeah, they're 2-2 right now and 0-2 in the ACC. Nobody, I don't think, expected that. Certainly the Clemson fans for sure. We already talked a little bit about Ohio State at Notre Dame. Ohio State goes in. It's a back-and-forth game. I felt like Notre Dame took control of it really in the second half. They go down, they score a couple of times, they take that lead and have a chance to salt the game away, really. Ohio State had some couple of timeouts, but Notre Dame, breaks off 2 runs, basically gets 20 yards in 2 plays, and I think you're under 5 minutes, down around 3 minutes at this point, and then they try to run
a screen.
So, well, no, they tried to run some read option or whatever it was. You get sacked for 5 yards. Now it's 2nd and 15. Ohio State has called their timeout. They got one left, as far as I can remember.
That's right.
And you come out of that timeout if you're Notre Dame, and you try to run a screen. Now, number one, it should have been intercepted. Number two, it ends up incomplete. They don't have to use their timeout. They can save that. It's 3rd and 15. Now they have got 2 minutes flat, basically, to go down and try to win it instead of 1 minute and 20 seconds. That's a world of difference. I mean, I couldn't help but obviously think of the Iron Bowl a couple years ago. If Tank Bigsby gets down inbounds, it's 40 seconds off the clock, and maybe, it would have been a much harder drive down the field for Alabama. But instead, they had a full 2 minutes, and they go down, and to their credit, they scored. Ohio State did the same thing. So I put that all on Freeman. He's a young coach, but that was a blunder on his part.
And if you don't put that on him, you should
and
put on
10 players on the field twice.
Yeah. That's
so yeah.
And again, look, there's no great explanation for it. He came out and said, well, I didn't want to get a penalty, and I was like, it would have been about a 1-inch penalty.
Yeah.
I would have much rather had the penalty. What are you talking about? And again, I think that's just inexperience of, I really screwed up and I don't know how to handle this. And it would have been better if he just said, we messed up as a coaching staff. And leave off the I didn't want to get a penalty thing, because it's not like you get – I mean, it'd be an inch if it is an inch. I don't even know if it would be an inch. It was so close. And it was going to be tough to stop him at that point. And I think where he really screwed up was letting Marvin Harrison catch that ball near the goal line to begin with. That was,
that was 3rd and 8.
3rd and long, yeah, 3rd and very long. So you do feel for Notre Dame a little bit, or some people do.
No, I
really
don't feel for them.
But because they had Sam Hartman, he was looking like a certain Heisman candidate. But, I watched that Ohio State team play, and while the SEC is taking its lumps for sure, I don't know that Ohio State would go to, say, the Swamp and win. I mean, even as bad as Florida is.
I don't good enough to beat Tennessee at home. I don't think I certainly don't look at Ohio State and say, boy, they're unbeatable.
Well, yeah,
by any means.
It's just not the same Ohio State. And what this really all comes down to for me, and we talked about this in the summer, I don't think any of us really bought it. The Pac-12 probably is the best conference right now, and you know what it all comes down to is quarterback. You look at the SEC. Our best quarterback in the SEC is probably Jaden Daniels, and he's good. He's really good.
When he's good.
But is he somebody? Is he a? Shoot, I don't think he's Stetson Bennett. I certainly don't think he's Bryce Young or Mac Jones or Tua. I mean, I don't think he's Joe Burrow. I don't think he's in that conversation at all. So I think he's really good, though. I think he's also bolstered by the fact he's the best of what we got this year. But you look at the Pac-12, you got Caleb Williams, who's returning as a Heisman guy and looking like another Heisman candidate. You got Bo Nix, who's doing really well. You got Penix, who, frankly, he should probably be the Heisman frontrunner right now. The guy at Washington State and DJ Uiagalelei at Oregon State, they put on a nice little show the other night. They look good. Who else? There's somebody else in the Pac-12 that I'm missing. Well, it can't be Cam Rising, even though he hadn't been able to play. Dante Moore at UCLA has been okay. What I'm saying is they've all got dudes at quarterback. And it's making their league better. If you have a league full of good quarterbacks, it just about doesn't matter the rest of it. You're going to have a good league. And Ohio State has Kyle McCord. He's fine. He was a 5-star. He's good. He's not great. And, that's what I think is going to come down to is what quarterback is going to make the fewest amount of mistakes. Carson Beck's fine. I don't think Carson Beck's wowed anybody yet, but he's fine.
I think Jaden Daniels is a KJ Jefferson with a much better cast around him.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Much better cast, too. I mean, Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, both very good.
Better offensive line, better running game, better defense. I think it's just but I don't think there's a whole lot of difference between those two guys. I mean, obviously he's faster. They're different type guys, but really think, yeah. Let's see, Michigan, they beat Rutgers. Good for them.
7-0, and then the wheels fell off for Rutgers.
38-6. How about what in the world, Baylor? I mean, the shine is off.
Well, isn't this kind of what he does? I mean, last year they were good. The year before that they were horrible, right? I mean, I think that
they are really
I think he's
bad.
sort of going back and forth.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 2 years ago. Were they good last year? I can't remember.
They were not great. I mean, they did not win.
Well, 2 years ago they
2
were
years
good.
ago they won
And
the
then-
Big 12, right? Or
But
they
the
played
year
for
before
it.
that they weren't good. So maybe he's just going to fluctuate a little bit.
But they're going from bad. I mean, like
they're bad.
They're really horrendous.
Yeah.
UCLA and Utah played.
You know that's Auburn's next non-conference opponent.
I do. Yeah. Thank goodness. Well, we'll get the up year. Don't make any mistake. They'll win 10 games the year they play us for sure. We got to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Talladega Outdoors in Talladega is your authorized Kawasaki sale and service center. Your home for Bad Boy mowers and Kimco scooters, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides. Rather for hunting, land management, or recreation, they have the ride for you. But they are also everything outdoor with full lines of accessories and is now your Ariat workwear and boot store, along with kayaks and outdoor accessories. Talladega Outdoor, Highway 21 in Talladega. Everything outdoor and Alabama's #1 Kawasaki dealer.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
If you're tired of the same old, and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, the new full-size GMC Sierra 4x4 crew cabs discounted up to $12,000 off. The popular GMC Terrain up to $6,500 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments till 2024 at Glenn Smith GMC.
Over 250 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. About 45 more minutes left in tonight's show. The phone line, there must have been something problem with the phone. So it hasn't been ringing off the hook. So 256-234-6221. I told Luke to plug it in, so that may have been the problem. But we've got it fixed now.
Is this receiver supposed to be on?
This way. Yeah.
I don't even know what a landline looks like anymore.
Yeah, really.
Call Andy's cell phone.
Let's do that. Care of this station. What's your name? All right, Luke, we were talking about games around the country. We were looking at the past. Now let's peer into the future. This week, Clemson, as the aforementioned Clemson Tigers, 2-2 on the year, 0-2 in the ACC. They travel to an undefeated Syracuse, who has notoriously given them problems. They've beaten the best Clemson teams in years past. They are 4-0, have yet to play an ACC game. The Clemson Tigers, a 7-point favorite on the road in the Dome.
It's a lot
in
of
the
orange.
Carrier Dome.
Which, ironically, doesn't have air conditioning.
It does not. That is, yeah, that's one of those oddities in the
That
world.
is
11 o'clock on ABC.
It's not must-watch TV.
It's not. Well, if you're wondering about Clemson, and it's an early throwaway game.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I think either Clemson gets blown out or they do the blowing out. One of the two. Because I feel like Clemson's going to really sort of back up to get a running start here, or they might mail it in.
Well, it's like, they put a lot of energy into that Florida State game.
They did. And it felt like Syracuse, they played Army last week, and it felt like they were sort of, I hate to say holding back, but they sort of just toyed with Army. And, Syracuse, you're right, it's been a house of horrors for Clemson. So it wouldn't shock me if Clemson wins outright. I almost want to pick it, but I'm not.
Boy, what if they start 0-3 in the
ACC? Conference? That would be
to say the wheels, wheels would be off.
Yeah.
Right. So, number 10, Utah, undefeated still. Is Cam Rising back at all this year, or
I don't know.
Is it like week to week?
It really is. Eventually, I think we're all like, just tell us if he's playing, because he's been doubtful since Florida.
Yeah. They are at number 19, Oregon State, who is 3-1, 0-1 in the Pac-12. The Beavers are a 3.5-point favorite. This one, 8 o'clock on FS1. How much trust do you put in Utah here?
I think Utah will be fine. I think Utah's got, Utah's got some tougher games coming up. I'm looking forward to, some of their other Pac-12 matchups coming down the pike. But I still think they'll be okay. Is that Utah, right?
No.
Ooh. Okay, now I'm no.
Okay.
But it is Oregon State.
It is Oregon State.
So,
that is where.
And they just lost at Washington State. But this Oregon State teams, they've got some.
They're good. They're not great, but they're better than advertised. Let's say that.
Well, they're just better than Oregon State normally is.
Well, that's probably. Where is Oregon State? I can't remember.
Corvallis.
Corvallis, thank you. So you like Utah? If it's ever close, I've learned pick Utah.
Yeah, pick Utah.
Because they're tougher.
I'll go Utah.
Number 8, USC, undefeated at Colorado. USC 3-touchdown favorite, 3 touchdowns and a half.
I think USC will give up some points in yardage, but I think USC is just too much. I think
USC wins this game like 56-28.
Yeah, something like that. And Shadur Sanders is very good. But look, it's so funny because Shadur Sanders, you don't hear anybody talking about him in the Heisman anymore.
No. Was that a statement by Bo Nix? Hey,
I think it was a statement by Oregon, really. Okay. Because if Travis Hunter had played, I think they still get beaten. They may even still get blown out. It isn't like that.
I think they still get blown out. Yeah. How about number 11, Notre Dame at Duke?
And that's where game day's going.
Interesting.
First time ever.
First time in Durham ever.
Yeah. And I think that's cool. So it wouldn't shock me at all if Duke wins that game. Mike Elko is a heck of a coach. Riley Leonard, huge fan from the state of Alabama. I'm going to be pulling for him. I think it'd be – and then all of a sudden, Marcus Freeman goes from being on top of the world, having Ohio State on the ropes, and then he loses his last two. And he's probably on the hot seat, frankly.
Yeah.
That's how quickly things change in this sport.
That is true. So who you going with? Notre Dame?
I'll go with Duke.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. South Carolina at Tennessee. Last year, Tennessee waltzed into Carolina and got brutalized. Can South Carolina do it again?
You know, I don't think they'll win, but I think South Carolina, what's the line?
It is Tennessee by 13.
Oh, wow. I like South Carolina to cover that. I mean, I just think South Carolina, Spencer Rattler's playing very well right now. They played pretty doggone well against Georgia. You know, they had the lead at half. I mean, and Georgia's just better than they are. I mean, Georgia came back and beat them, sure. But I think that Spencer Rattler's playing very well. They've got some good receivers. Their defense is doing okay. You know, the 500 yards of Mississippi State notwithstanding, they didn't give up but one touchdown passing. So I feel like South Carolina can keep this close. I think Tennessee will probably end up winning. If Tennessee doesn't win, it's going to be interesting to see what they start doing at quarterback, because I believe some Tennessee fans are having sort of a Jalen Milroe type thing with Joe Milton right now. You hear all this talk about Joe Milton's he can throw it 80 yards. He can do this. He can do that. But then he can't hit a simple wheel route, or he can't hit a slant or whatever. And that's what Alabama fans are complaining about. But Alabama fans know Milroe clearly is their best option. Whereas I think Tennessee fans look over there and you see this 5-star Nico Iamaleava. I probably butchered his name. You look at him in the background and you go, let's give this 5-star a chance, you know. And then next year we'll have this guy coming, you know, starting, and he'll have a lot of experience. So I think they've got sort of I'd rather be with the devil I don't know than the devil I do kind of thing. And it wouldn't shock me if South Carolina kept this close.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and take another break. That's the top half of the bracket. We'll come back and look at the bottom half right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Have you stopped by Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store lately? If you haven't, you should. You'll find great pieces for your favorite do-it-yourself project. Lightly used name brand clothing by Free People, North Face, Matilda Jane, Patagonia, and a whole lot more. And while you're there, don't miss the shoes, decorative pieces, classic and new books, and Auburn and Alabama gear that won't cost you a fortune. So stop and shop at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store today for a unique thrift experience that won't break the budget. Lifesavers Mission Thrift, located on East University behind Zaxby's.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell, and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today. Lake Area Realty at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing. At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at DunningRoofingAL.com for more information.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you just for about, three more segments in tonight's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. We are making some predictions looking at this week's slate of games. How about number 13 LSU, 3-1, 2-0 in the conference, is a 2.5-point favorite on the road in Oxford, Mississippi. Number 20 Ole Miss. Ole Miss 3-1, 0-1 in the league. This one at 5 o'clock on the ESPN network.
Ole Miss needs this.
Oh, yeah.
I think Ole Miss needs this in a bad way. Lane Kiffin needs this. Michael Trigg, their tight end, apparently quit the team today. I don't know how much he's been doing. I mean, he's been fine, I think, but he was a transfer in from USC. He's got a lot of talent. It just hadn't worked out. But Lane Kiffin really needs this. If Lane Kiffin can't beat LSU at home, this LSU team is, again, they're good. They're not vintage LSU. They're not 2019 LSU. And this Ole Miss team is good. I know they only scored 10 points against Alabama. I understand that, but Jackson Dart he's up in in the discussion of top 3 quarterbacks in the league. There's no doubt about it. They've got Quinshon Judkins, who hadn't really gotten on track this year just yet. They need this win. Lane Kiffin has a pretty abysmal record against ranked opponents, and he made a big stink on Twitter. Basically, was say, everybody was saying, Lane, if you don't beat Alabama this year, I mean, if not now, win, because by the way, we don't play them next year, and you got to feel like LSU Ole Miss just needs something good to happen like this. It's fine to beat Georgia Tech. It's fine to beat Tulane without their starting quarterback. It's fine to beat Mercer by 70-7 or whatever it is. But you can't just feast on Ole Miss. You can't just beat Arkansas. You got to beat somebody. And this year, unfortunately for you, you had to travel to Alabama. You're going to have to travel to Georgia. So my bet is if you're going to beat one of the big boys, you better beat LSU.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know if it's going to happen because I just don't know what his mental state is going to be and how that.
I think LSU's better, and I think they're going to win because they're better.
Yeah, and I think LSU is better. That doesn't necessarily always equal a win on the road in this league, but I think that's reflected in the 2.5 point. I think they're better than 2.5 points than Ole Miss, but because it's at Ole Miss, I'm anxious to see how the crowd reaction is. I'm anxious to see what the whole feeling of the place is. Because here's the thing, and I believe this. I believe that when Georgia goes to Auburn this weekend, I think even though Auburn's been, pretty terrible offensively, I think there's going to be a lot of kumbaya swag surfing stuff at Auburn, because I still think for the most part fans have a lot of hope and understand what's going on. Now, if Georgia just wallops Auburn, it'd be one thing. But I think if it's like even relatively close, I think that'll be a heck of an atmosphere. I think if Ole Miss gets down like 10-0, which isn't, it's not like insurmountable, but I think a lot of people are going to be like, there goes Lane, can't do it again.
Yeah.
And I think Ole Miss needs to get out in front early and stay that way. I mean, they got in front of Alabama 7-3, had the ball a couple of times to make it even bigger, and they just couldn't do it. Lane's got to prove, that he can do some of this stuff.
This is off the subject, but can a roach have rabies? Because he's kind of walking around in circles.
He is.
And wallering around, and maybe, I don't know.
Did he just die live on TV?
He may.
Is he upside down?
He was like walking sideways, so he had some issues. I don't know.
They did a study about how when you walking when you're sober versus walking when you're drinking, the results were staggering. That's a dad joke.
That is very, very bad. All right, Texas A&M is taking on Arkansas. This one in AT&T Stadium.
Okay. This is must-watch TV.
Oh, I agree.
100%. This is.
He's alive.
But he's still walking
it looks
in
like
circles. I used to walk like that after an AHSAA party a lot.
Yeah.
He really is walking in circles. Y'all, I can't tell if the TV station is maybe he just doesn't like it here, or there's a weak amount of roach spray being used. Like just enough to make him mad.
Yeah, just enough to give us long-term
little
cancer.
show.
But, you know.
Anywho, Texas A&M and Arkansas. That game just a ton of fun.
It's always close. It's always interesting.
I'm going to tell you something. This is going to sound weird. It's the most SEC game there is. Like, you know, okay, you want to say Alabama, Georgia, and all that stuff. That's fun, like SEC championship. But that means more, and we all get it. The Iron Bowl has always been good. The cocktail party, that's always fun. But A&M Arkansas is about as SEC really as you get. Like, that is, it always gives you something. It's weird. It's colorful. It's split down the middle. It's fun. It's fun watching.
It is.
I mean,
agree.
it's
and both teams are a little desperate.
Wonky. Both teams need it.
Yeah.
I mean, Arkansas is coming off. I mean, this would be 3 in a row for Arkansas. They lost.
Yep.
And then, you know, if
this could be the end of Sam Pittman if they lose this game, maybe.
Could be. And then you think about Texas A&M. What if they lose and then they're welcoming in Alabama next week? And it sounds like they're going to be without Weigman for 2 to 4 weeks, so they'll probably be without him this week and next. What if Max Johnson comes back down to earth? What if he shows, okay, there's a reason I was second team, and he sort of stinks it up? You know, I'm just telling you, it's like a huge game. And I know it's not going to get a ton of love, and I understand that, but of all the games on at 11, that's the one I want to see. There's Florida, Kentucky, which is, I mean, Kentucky is a shot to be unbeaten, and then if they win that game, they go into Georgia unbeaten, and Georgia's probably unbeaten. It's a big game.
Who wins it?
Oh, Georgia.
No,
but,
I mean, Texas A&M Arkansas.
Oh, God. Look, man, I'm going to tell you, I like Sam Pittman more than I like Jimbo Fisher. And we hadn't even talked about Jimbo Fisher getting on the field against Auburn. I don't ever cheer for Auburn in anything. But when I didn't see it happen live. I saw it after the fact, and I was like, if I could go back in time and you could say you can change something just right now, but like within the last 3 minutes, I would say, please let Eugene Asante run that man over, because it would have sent him flying. It probably would have killed him.
It would have hurt him.
Now,
he would have broken something.
Because he's got to be late 60s at least.
I don't know about late 60s, but yeah, early to mid, maybe.
And I know he probably once played football and all this stuff, but
it's a quarterback for Terry Bowden.
Let me tell you something. He would have probably died. And, like, in the moment, it wouldn't have been funny, maybe. Later on in the year, we'd probably been like, remember that time Eugene Asante killed a man playing football? Because he came on the field. And also, you know, his excuse of, I thought the play was blown dead. No, I thought the play was dead because I saw the flag. You still got to hear the whistle.
Yeah.
But it was the dumbest excuse. Eugene Asante 100% should have run him over. I think Eugene Asante is regretting that as much as anything else in his life. Like, he had an opportunity. He had a golden ticket to run that man over. Nobody would have faulted him.
No.
Because if I'm Eugene Asante, you know what I say? I was in the moment. All I saw was somebody in front of me, and I was thinking, I got to get the end zone, and I ran him over. I thought he was an A&M player. Right?
I mean, get a trailer guy trying to tackle him. I mean, or trying to throw a block and let one of the big guys run him over.
And here's the other thing. If he had hit him, and whether he'd killed him or not is irrelevant, he would be awarded a touchdown. I would 100% believe that, because that same thing went down, of course,
I don't think that's a reviewable play if you kill somebody. So,
well, you know, it goes down to the Alabama-Rice game where Tommy Lewis comes off the bench, tackles Dickie Magel, who's going for a touchdown. He said, I'm too full of Bama, and the rest is history. And that's what Eugene Asante could have said.
Please don't.
He was too full of Texas A&M. I'd knock it out of him.
Florida is at Kentucky.
I like
Kentucky's a favorite in this one, 2.5.
I think they should be. I like Kentucky to win. I like Kentucky to go into Georgia unbeaten and get their break speed in.
Alabama 14.5 over Mississippi State. Did they cover?
I'm going to say yes, begrudgingly. This is all a homer. This is me being a homer. Frankly, if you force me to bet, I'm probably going to take Mississippi State. But I think Alabama's going to cover.
Number 1 Georgia 14.5 over Auburn. Did they cover?
I think they do, because I think I wasn't sure at first, but after today, it sounds like they're going to stick with Peyton Thorne. And if Auburn's going to stick with Peyton Thorne, which I still think is the right call because I feel like he's a sacrificial lamb. This is like his swan song. But if you stick with him, I think you get blown out. And, okay. I mean, again, I don't think Auburn fans should be mad about it. I think of course you're mad about it. But, I mean, I think you're sort of like, our time is down the road. Our time is not now. Yeah.
Up against a break. Don't go anywhere, alive or dead, when we come back right after this.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
The food at Oscar's Cafe makes your mouth water. At Oscar's, enjoy great tasting catfish, or maybe you're just in the mood for one of Oscar's fresh salads. Even kids know the place for a fine meal is Oscar's with a great kids menu. Oscar's also has great tasting burgers full of backyard flavor. So come on out to Oscar's Cafe for great food and homegrown hospitality. We're located on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, just before the Blue Creek Bridge. And remember, it's all fun and games till there's only one cheese ball left.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Let Riverbank and Trust open doors for you. Whether you're purchasing land, a lot by the lake, or building or buying a home, begin with Tallapoosa County's loan experts. They'll guide you through the entire process, providing local decision-making, prompt responses, and the best real estate loan solutions for your unique needs. And in most cases, Riverbank and Trust can close your loan in 30 days or less, and they'll walk by your side every step of the way. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. We invite you to experience it for yourself.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today, Lake Area Realty, at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Only a couple more segments left in tonight's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Now it's time for one of our old favorites, the most requested segment of any Sports Blitz in history. Alive or dead, 80s wrestlers. We'll start out with some easy ones, Luke. The Iron Sheik.
All right.
World Heavyweight Champion, 1982. Who took it from him? Hulk Hogan.
I believe that. I believe that he is dead because he was very active on Twitter or X, and I think he is no longer active on Twitter because of his aforementioned death. Due to death, he's no longer on Twitter.
He left us not too long ago.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he is no longer with us. The one and only Rowdy Roddy Piper.
God, man, don't tell me he's dead.
the
He's got to be alive.
proliferator of Piper's Pit.
What is he doing? Boy, I hated him.
Hot Rod.
Well, I mean, he wanted you to hate him. That's why
He did. He was a heel.
So I'm going to say alive because, I mean, that's sad. If he
That's a great guess. He is not. He is dead.
What did he die from?
He died.
Awesomeness?
He died from probably steroid abuse. Later,
All
I'm
these
not
deaths
sure.
steroid related.
How about the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase?
Well, if he is alive, $1 million doesn't get you as far as it used to.
It does not. That is for sure.
But he's alive.
He is alive.
Yeah.
He is getting it done still.
What do you think he's doing?
It's probably something in wrestling.
Well, if
Promotion?
he's not, like, what if he's just like a maitre d'? Or what if he's working at Kinko's? Is there still Kinko's?
I don't think so. He's a computer programmer.
That would make sense. He's working at Kinko's. There's, like, nobody's told him that we're not.
He's working at a Blockbuster, but how about Jimmy?
Blockbuster dead.
Jimmy the Superfly Snuka.
I'm almost positive he's dead.
Now, he killed a guy and went to prison, I think, or maybe he got off because he was insane. But don't confuse that part of it, I would say.
Superfly Snuka.
Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
He was in remember the cartoon with Captain Lou Albano?
I do, yeah.
That's so stupid. He had rubber bands coming out of his face. What's wrong with that man?
I don't know. How long you got? He was a raging alcoholic, number one. All right, Snuka, what do you say?
Snuka's dead.
He is deader than dead.
I mean, there was no chance he made it.
No, there's no chance.
That's the old Seinfeld. What if she were alive today? Never would have made it.
He would have never. All right, Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Ooh, I didn't like him either.
He was never what you would call in shape.
Dead.
He is alive and well.
I want to know your source for. I want to know your fact-checking source.
He is. It would be a little something I like to call the internet. Greg Valentine's still alive. Big Boss Man.
Oh, he's got. Look, these. That you always get me with these, so I'm gonna say alive. Like when you like.
It seems too obvious, right?
Yeah. Alive.
He's been dead for years. Tito Santana.
I don't even remember him.
You don't remember Tito Santana? He was a good guy. He was.
It sounds like he would be dead because he had to flee the country and wrestle under another pseudonym. Like, who is this mysterious bullet?
He never wore
Bob Armstrong. He's got to be
Bullet.
dead.
He never wore a mask. Tito did.
Well, do you remember Bullet Bob Armstrong?
Of course.
They called him Bullet Bob, and then he had lost a loser leave town match. He comes back as the Bullet. And they're like, who is this mysterious bullet that's got Bob Armstrong tattooed on his arm? And he wore the same unitard.
Yeah, and Gordon Soley even said, what do you think, Bob? I mean, Bullet? What did I say? Tito Santana.
Dead.
Alive and well.
No.
Alive and well. Prospering.
No, he's in the. If his persona is dead.
Prospering.
He might be in the witness protection program under a pseudonym.
Prospering in dry goods in Northern California. Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Oh. By the way, how many cute. If he just would have said, if his name were just Beefcake.
Yeah,
or the Barber.
Brutus Beefcake is pretty good by itself.
No, but I'm saying, he could have used just been a single name of any of those.
That's true.
He's got 3 great nicknames in a row.
I would agree.
He's got to be dead.
Alive and well.
God almighty.
Randy, the Macho Man Savage.
Little known fact, he was actually in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Also, a little known fact, played Major League Baseball.
Randy Macho Man Savage?
Yeah.
That is
Lenny
very
Poffel,
little known.
or Poffel, Randy Poffel.
Randy Poffel.
That's his name.
Oh, Macho Man's so much better. Was he that muscular?
Randy Savage. No, he was not. He was, well built, but he was not.
Well, because they test for steroids in
Yeah,
baseball.
he didn't juice up until
Versus encouragement. We have a caller. We better get this.
All
it
right.
could be Randy. Caller, you're on the air.
How you doing, Luke?
Doing great. How are you?
Okay. Hey, this is Thomas.
Hey, buddy.
I think Bama's going to win this weekend.
Okay.
And I think they're going to beat Mississippi State 35-21.
They wouldn't cover by half a point, but I'll take it.
I mean, how many points is Alabama favor over Mississippi State?
14 and a half.
14 and a half. Hey, something's going to have to give this weekend, man, because they look better in the second half. Saturday.
Look,
the first half they didn't look good at all.
Alabama's been sort of a, Jekyll and Hyde team even in game. I mean, they look pretty bad.
And I was wanting to tell you, thank you, and Andy for that picture and that little the stuff y'all sent me. That was really nice of y'all.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you for watching.
And, hey, I think y'all do a fantastic job.
Thank you, my friend. You have a good night.
You too, buddy. Bye-bye.
That was nice of him.
Absolutely.
So, all right, let's keep. Randy Savage is, I think he's probably dead from like tanning oil overdose.
Been dead for years.
Yeah.
Baby oil poisoning. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Oh, God. I have not thought about that name in so long. These were so good. These were like, even like porn actors would be like, what?
That's next week.
There's nobody named Ricky the Dragon Steamboat that's still alive.
He owns a Japanese steakhouse. No, he doesn't. But he is alive and well. He is alive
Owns a
and well.
Japanese steakhouse on a steamboat. That would be funny.
JYD, also known as
Junkyard Dog.
Aroof.
He's dead.
He's been dead since the 90s.
Yeah, he's been dead. I think he was dead. They propped him up Ferris Bueller style for some of his matches.
Nikolai Volkov.
Oh, my
the Russian
God.
They used to team with the Iron Sheik, by the way.
I know. I don't know if he is dead. I don't think we'd know it. So I'll go alive because I don't think the Russians would tell us.
He dead. He dead. We got to take a break. We'll come back. If we got any time, we'll round out some of the rest of these. More to come right after this.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
This fall, nobody beats Martin's Sports Pub for Lake Martin's best sports experience. Martin's all-star lineup of cold beverages and pub fare food can't be beat, with the region's best wings, burgers, and signature dishes. At Martin's, you always have the best seat in the house for all college and NFL on our multiple 360-view TV and huge projection screen with surround sound. See our pigskin scoreboard weekly to win big money and let our all-pro teams serve it all to you at the place we all win. Martin's, Highway 34, Dadeville. Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need. With top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill. And our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
If you're tired of the same old, and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of Sports Blitz Live. Thank you so much for being with us. We are rounding out alive or dead here, some 80s wrestlers. How about Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff?
This is before, what is the Shark Tank?
Yeah.
Kevin O'Leary. A name like Mr. Wonderful, he's got to be alive.
You would think, but he's dead. Coco Beware.
Oh.
He had a jerry curl, a headband, and a bird.
Speaking of names that make me think you're dead, Coco Beware's got to be dead.
He is alive and well.
That is insane that Mr. Wonderful's dead and Coco Beware's alive. It makes no sense.
It does make no sense. I will grant you that for sure. Lex Luger?
That's so wrestling. Lex Luger, I forgot that. God, he's dead.
The total package.
He's dead.
He is alive, although he looks dead. And finally, Kamala, the Ugandan giant.
He's so dead.
He's dead. There's no chance.
There was no chance. He had no chance.
The shocking thing is he died like in 2020.
Oh, there's no way.
He lasted.
But he was on life support for the last 40 years, I'm sure.
By the way, Kamala, actually, I think from like Minnesota or like Mississippi or something. Kamala, the Ugandan giant. Wow. That's a great one to end on.
I'm going to tell you what, that is great. Like, can you imagine the marketing meetings these guys were like, we need a new wrestler. Have we had a Ugandan giant yet? No. I know this dude named Kamala.
Yeah, really. They say you'll eat a raw fish right there in front of you. So, yeah, why not? That's going to wrap
Somebody
it up.
get Mr. Wonderful on the phone. Wait a minute, he's dead?
Okay. That's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. He's Luke. I'm Andy. Join us again next week. Same time, same channel. So long for now. We'll talk again soon.
Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor wants you to know we appreciate a great year from all of East Central Alabama, and now our inventory of superior zero-turn mowers from Spartan and Mahindra tractors is on the move. Shop Lake Martin Tractor for outstanding deals, finance rates as low as 0% and low payments. Spartan mowers as low as $84 per month. Mahindra four-wheel drive tractors and loader packages as low as $399 per month, including cutter, box blade, and 20-foot trailers. Spring into 22 at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor, Highway 280 in Alexander City, or online lakemartintractor.com.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Have you met your local farmer's insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.